Hi, good evening, and welcome, wrestling fans, wherever you may be watching. Welcome to this week's edition of AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I am Mad Matt Carter, being joined, as always, by Hall of Famer Brian Danzig. Reagan Danzig is not on camera, but she can hear you and hear us, and she'll be joining us directly. And Rick Deezel, I guess, is off doing food truck stuff, although I really need his expertise for one of our topics tonight. So maybe he'll pop in. Maybe we'll get lucky. I know he's probably looking in on us. He keeps a close watch on all of the activities involved with the AIWF. I mean, he should. It's his damn sandbox. I'd hope he keeps an eye on it. But it's like I know he's low key looking at the YouTube channel, this one, Ringside Wrestling, that I run, because like I don't even have to ask him for videos anymore. It's like he can see the queue and he knows when I'm starting to run out of content, and then all of a sudden emails will start coming. So that's nice. We're getting this thing down to a science. Speaking of the YouTube channel, I have to thank everybody. We are at a live look right now at 1,595 subscribers, almost to 1,600. That's big for us. That's big, you know. Let's see how. Yeah, okay. We're progressing nicely along this month. JAC and Justin Flash's Mid Atlantic Fan Cam video went up on Thursday and already has over 600 views, 634 to be exact. And somebody left a comment. Maybe I shouldn't look at the comment. No, it says Flash is awesome with a thumbs up. Some guy named UK Commentator. So thank you, sir. I read the ugly comments too. I just look at them, but I try not to reply to anything because it just encourages bad behavior if you do that. I've blocked. I blocked one guy. Just blocked him from commenting. I still want him to subscribe and watch. I just, got tired of his smart alecky comments, and it wasn't even funny or original. He just kept posting the same thing over and over again. So, build you another fake account and try to be a little more creative with your jokes and come on there and comment again, buddy, because I know it was a fake account. I looked at it. So, if you want to do that, you're more than welcome. I mean, it's America. You can say whatever the hell you want, but just if you want us to acknowledge you, be more creative than a tear emoji and a thumbs down. I mean, it's just like no thought whatsoever. But welcome to Ringside Wrestling. We are getting closer to Deal with the Steel. We're starting to get some match announcements. I saw a list of matches yesterday that I can't find. I saw it and looked at it, and I had questions and was going to start texting around some people, but then it got lost in my feed, so I don't know if it was taken down or whatever, but potentially a lot of good matches on Deal with the Steel this year. And I'm hoping we can announce them in the next week because we're getting down to it. If you think about it, Brian, it's less than 2 weeks away. I mean,
it is.
It's crazy to think about. Like
it is. It is crazy to think about it that it's already almost time for Deal with the Steel.
Man, time flies when you're having fun.
Sure does.
And the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I've got some slides up here. We're gonna cover that. Just like to say real quick at the beginning of the show, I know our longtime co-host when we first started this program, Joey Nuggs, who's a manager, he actually brought JAC and Clara into the Mid-Atlantic area, is having some medical issues right now. Just want to send thoughts, prayers, if you'd like to do that, and good vibes to Joey. But you guys are longtime viewers of this program, back to 21, know that he was an integral part of getting it off the ground. I mean, he was able to introduce me to file sharing services, some of his knowledge of software. He taught me a lot. He's always welcome back on this show. I mean, there's no heat between us. He's always welcome back on this show. So nothing life-threatening by any stretch of the imagination. Let me just say that. But it sounds kind of painful. I'm not going to get into it. I mean, he posted it in a public place, but I work in healthcare, so HIPAA scares me. Like, even though if you post it in a public place, it's open season, I know, but still, I don't want to talk about nobody's medical condition in detail. But it does sound awful painful. So Joey, I hope you feel better soon, and I hope they can get you properly repaired. So there's Reagan joining us, and all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever. I posted a great video of a guy getting hurt on X today. So if you want to go over there and check out my page or my X at Mad Bat Concord, feel free. Help yourself. Go over there, have a few laughs.
I shared something with you this week of somebody getting hurt, didn't I?
Yes, it was funny. It was pretty good. Most of these people have in common, though, man. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
I mean, and that one was old, but it was just because it was Goldberg dropping who on their head? I don't know. Just kind of, whoa.
Oh, I thought you sent me the one with the bull running over the rodeo clown.
I did. I don't think I meant some. I guess I. Okay. Don't know how that happened because I didn't do that.
Maybe somebody else sent it to me. Check this out. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, Ivanhoe. Yes.
Yeah. So I am intrigued by this poster. This is Ivanhoe. This is Iconic Championship Wrestling, ICW, not to be confused with the Poffos Renegade promotion in Tennessee back in the 70s. But this is going to be in Ivanhoe, Virginia. As you can see, there are it's a couple of Mid Atlantic. Well, no one. I see Mickey Fulp, Matt Anderson, Ty Tyson on this card from the Mid Atlantic. I see Foxy Roxy's on that card. She used to wrestle down here a whole lot. The other people I don't know, except I see JD Anderson, and I see some guy right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. This guy right here, I need y'all to find out if his name is Daniel and he lives down here in Concord, because he looks like exactly like an IT guy that I used to work with.
Well, so, I'll look into that.
Yeah. But, I mean, if it's not, it might be his brother. I don't know. The resemblance is uncanny. But this goes down. This is not a Mid-Atlantic show, but we are helping put it on. It goes down next Saturday, August 24th in Ivanhoe, Virginia, at the Ivanhoe Volunteer Fire Department. The address is right there for you, 4314 Ivanhoe Road, Ivanhoe, Virginia. Now, Reagan, you've been up there before. That's right off 77. Am I correct?
Yes, and if you're not careful, your Google's going to take you through the middle of nowhere and then through a tiny little dirt road through a cemetery. So go all the way up to the Whiffle exit, and then go straight down and then use your GPS from there.
All right. I just let Rick Deezel into the room. I can't see the operator screen right now because we got a poster up. But if you're there, Rick Deezel, hello and welcome. And
I'm here, and you don't need to go all the way to the Whiffle exit. It's the Fort Chiswell exit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right after you come off of where the 7781 connects, there's an exit right there. It's got a Burger King on it and a McDonald's and stuff like that. Get off of that, take a left. You go out there a little ways and you'll take a right next to it at a traffic light where there's a bank and I think a grocery store. And you just go down that way a few miles and it's on the left.
Yeah, so
I thought it was Whiffle, so
you get off the Fort Chiswell exit and stop somewhere and ask. I think it'd probably be the best bet. Do you think?
It's not real hard to find. A GPS. If you're coming from down this way, the GPS will take you weird. Do not follow the GPS because it'll take you through, like delivery land,
cemetery road.
Yeah, across the river and all that's real. Been there, done that. Not fun.
Doesn't sound like fun, but anyway, that's this coming Saturday. Oh, see, they got a Russian right there.
I'll have to tell you off camera who that is.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, no, I recognize that face.
Oh.
It took a minute, but thank you for the clue. That helped. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Somebody's
you know what to say about them Russians? They're all war machines.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Somebody might need to change your name.
Yeah, I shouldn't have hit the admit button because that's a clear violation of the rules. But yeah. But if you want to,
you're talking about that one that came in?
Yeah. I mean, but if he wants everybody to know his shoot name, y'all just look him up in the Charleston, South Carolina phone book and just start calling him nonstop.
Call every Kevin you see, and if you don't know it.
Yeah, do like the original Terminator movie. He wasn't sure which Sarah Connor it was, so he just killed everyone in the phone book. Our class of 2024 is going down now. You guys have been talking about Richie Mitchell, and I could not remember his face until I saw this photo, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember him now. Yeah, I'm so glad he's going into the Hall of Fame. Boy, a lot of iconic moments are happened around that guy. So
yeah, Brian and I took him and Chris on a lot. He knocked out one of my teeth with his roundhouse kick.
wow,
So it was a wisdom tooth, so kind of helped me out. But he did knock a tooth out with one of those kicks.
wow, wisdom teeth have really thick roots too. So
oh yeah, it was bad. Funny story now.
He didn't stay with AIWF as long as Chris Tenney did, but when he was here, he made an impact. So
yeah, he did. Well, it'll be good to see Richie again after all these years. So congratulations, Richie Mitchell, going into the Hall of Fame, and also
known as Matrix.
Also known as Matrix. I did not know that. This guy I remember very well, Kenny. Yeah, what a nice guy. That's the best way I can. He was special.
Everybody but Lewis Moore loved Kenny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the kids really loved him. I mean, he was a very kid-friendly wrestler. And if he was getting beat up, you would see kids, visibly the youngsters in the crowd, were very upset by that. So, they're like, "Hi, I'm Kenny, just Kenny." I think he's still got a Facebook, Kenny, just Kenny.
He does.
He does.
Yeah.
He does, but I don't think he ever messes with it much anymore. But
I don't know, but he was at a show a few last year.
Was it the anniversary
show? Huh?
I think it was. It was last year when he was at a show.
Yeah, I think it might have been when was AC there with his tent? That
was last year. That was the anniversary show.
Okay, so it's been a while. So
yeah,
hopefully we can. I think hopefully word gets out. So I think I know how to get in touch with him. If you don't, so
who, Kenny?
Yeah,
done talk to him. He's excited.
Okay, good. I'm excited. He was so much fun, and the kids did love him. And he was, he looks like, and he was a fun character, but he was also really good in the ring.
Yes.
Yeah. So, don't let the look or the or anything like that fool you. He was a fierce competitor.
Mm-hmm. Very strong. I mean, he was a big guy, and I mean, and he's one of those big guys who knew how to use their strength. I mean, he could throw me around just like I didn't weigh anything. He put me through a table. He powerbombed me from the apron through a table on the ground, and yeah, he just the power. That's what I remember most from him, just hauling me up just like I was nothing.
Mm.
It was something.
I seem to remember Mark Childry really liking Kenny for one reason or another. I know he wanted to see more of him, but that's neither here nor there. Mark Childry took a liking to some strange wrestlers. He liked Kenny. Remember Dog Boy, Brian? He was one of your minions at one time. He liked him. And he just thought Dog Boy was great. He wondered what would happen if he like popped his hand with a rolled up newspaper. Would the kid run away? And so
he might.
Yeah, I told him I wasn't familiar with Brian Danzig's training techniques. So that'd be another classic video if we ever run across it. That night we ran that show inside that building in downtown Reidsville, and Mark and I called it. I don't even know if we shot it. I know we shot it for Star News, but I don't know whatever happened to the master tape. There is a new world champion. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but I can't remember his name either. So
Barry Koloff.
Barry Koloff.
H. Koloff. Cloth. I don't know. I just posted in that chat. I don't know who can see the chat besides us.
Nobody.
I just posted it in there.
Nobody's in the Zoom chat besides us. They can't get in.
Well, I posted it in there, his name.
Somebody, Matt Classic shared it. So you can follow Matt Classic, and I think they also put it on the AIWF Wrestling page.
It's on the Mid Atlantic page also, and they're supposed to be sending us footage of the match for the network.
All right, good. We'll see if we get that. I have trust issues. So anyway, let's move on to the actual business in hand, deal with the steel. This is what we know so far. All right. This is going to be interesting. Action Jackson. He's a newcomer to the Mid-Atlantic. We've seen him a couple of times. You want to talk about a guy that's really put together, you can take a look at that picture and see. His hair is longer than that, though. We maybe need to get a newer picture of him, but
yeah.
He's a tremendous athlete, nice guy, but I don't know, man. I think the guys at the matchmaking committee maybe throwing him into the wolves a little bit. Marvelous Mason Matthews is a wily veteran. Gonna throw him in the cage with him, like, okay, kid, good luck. It's
kind of like when those back in the day when your daddy or your grandpa just threw you in the water and said, swim.
Yeah. Start pulling the water, cup it with your hands. So we're gonna find out. Adrian Action Jackson, Marvelous Mason Matthews. That's one of the matches that's been signed. This was originally scheduled to be James Anthony against Mason.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Yeah.
But because James Anthony's a class act, when he realized he had a scheduling conflict, he actually picked up the phone and let somebody know. So
yes, plenty of time to get a replacement, and he had a legitimate excuse, so it's all good.
Yeah. James is class act. All right, so that's one match that we know of. This is one I'm looking forward to. The battle of the crazy people. I mean, it's a good thing this one is in a steel cage, because this would be one of the ones that if it was just a regular, a normal show when we don't have anything to protect the fans from the wrestlers, I'd tell them to, get those nachos and those drinks out of the floor. You might have to move quickly. This could be wild, but it's going to be inside a steel cage and might get a bit gory. We have not seen Sin Crowley in the Mid-Atlantic since him and Jeff Flowers won the tag team title, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Flowers, he's sidelined with injuries and medical issues, but that's what stirred the whole tag title thing. That now they're on Corey Edsel and Mecha Mercenary, Sin, they were scheduled. This was a long time ago. If they had held the tag titles, this was scheduled to be a tag title match, but with Jeff Flowers still out, he's out to probably the first of the year. So Sin's he's honoring their dates, even if it's in singles.
Well, it's awful nice of him. So we mentioned Joey Nuggs earlier having some medical issues. Let's send some shout outs, good wishes, and prayers.
I missed that. What's up with Joey?
It's not life threatening, but he's got to go down to Florence to have a procedure done next week. That he's having some. I could better tell you off the air, because I was telling Brian earlier I'm nervous about HIPAA. Even though he posted it in public, I'm still kind of iffy about talking about people's medical conditions in public. Shit. I am ignoring that. I'm gonna stop looking at that chat, because that just kind of pissed me off, Kevin. And it's not all about you. And that's why he's doing it. But yeah, Sin Crowley versus Jackson Sane, and that's coming up. More matches still to come, but then of course the big one, Ty Tyson and Lodi going up against Sudden Impact Lewis Moore and the Barbarian, and Special Enforcer is Nikita Koloff, the Russian Nightmare. I can tell you this though, wrestling fans, I saw Nikita at the Crockett Cup when they had it down here in Concord. He's lost the Russian accent for the most part over 30 years. But if you want him to do it, you want him to speak with the Russian accent, he will do it. But and because the guy interviewing was like, I think the fans are disappointed that they didn't get you speaking with the accent. And he goes, well, I've been in this country for over 30 years. I've learned. And so that was a real funny moment. So, but we're looking forward to that. And if Seth Clayton Burns sticks his nose and tries to get in the cage or get it unlocked to let his people in, I think it will end badly for him. I don't know if Seth Clayton Burns could survive a Russian sickle, even from Nikita Cole, who's an older man now. So I don't know if I know I couldn't. It'd break my neck, put me in traction. I'd be sipping soup through a straw for 8 weeks. But Seth Clayton Burns is not a big guy, so I would tread lightly, my friend. Just think about like when you're stalking Clara. You know how softly you walk. Same thing you need to do with Nikita Koloff.
Yeah, I don't know if Seth Clayton Burns will actually put himself in the line of fire for Nikita Koloff. I think it's his guys. They're going to have to be the ones to watch themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just have to see how that plays out and see if they're willing to take a sickle for Seth Clayton Burns.
I know Mickey Fulp won't. I bet
No.
Mickey Fulp won't. Mickey Fulp has reached his wits' end. And so, but anyway, real quick, let's touch on it. I know that he didn't really wrestle in this area, but we talked about Sika passing away a few weeks ago. His brother Afa passed away. So we've lost both of the Wild Samoans, but that just shows you how close they were as brothers. I mean, they started coming to wrestling together in the 60s in San Francisco, and we get so mad at the bad guys that they started fighting the bad guys and beating them up. So the promoter, who promoted in San Francisco? Was that Roy Shire? Help me out, historians. Was that Roy Shire's territory?
I don't know. This is the time we would have needed Steve.
I think it was, because there's actually a Tales from the Territory that talks about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little short documentary thing. And I remember, I think it was Roy, because California, all that West Coast stuff was broke up into several different
territories.
Yeah, in itself.
Yeah.
And I think that was who run that one. But I remember the documentary because when they talked about today, how it's broken up today, they listed AIWF West Coast as part of it in the documentary. So that's kind of a proud moment.
Yeah, Afa was 81. He was born in 1942, territory of Western Samoa. He was living in Pennsylvania now. So his kids are Afa Anoa'i Jr., Samu. Remember Samu from the Samoan SWAT team? That was one of his boys. Lloyd Anoa'i, Vale Anoa'i, height 6'2". Siblings Sika Anoa'i, Vera Fatu, Afoa Anoa'i. Sorry if I'm messing up these Samoans' names. It is not intentional.
I've never been able to pronounce their last name. I just give up.
Let's see.
I just refer to it as annoying now.
Oh, don't ever say that in front of Roman Reigns.
No, but I'm sorry. The last name is annoying. Damn it. It's irritating trying to figure out how to say it. So if anybody ever figures out exactly how to say it, just let me know.
Makes me think that Roman Reigns would have to correct you. Like
isn't it Anai?
I say Anai. Anoi.
I heard it once and it was like 3 syllables or 4 syllables. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to be funny. I don't want to disrespect anybody's names, especially one that you have to try to do your best to say people's names because that's part of their identity. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure I could be taught, if I ever met Roman Reigns, I'd say, go ahead.
Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, if I ever met Roman Reigns, I'd be like, would you teach me how to correctly pronounce your last name? And I would have him just say it and me repeat it and him say it and me repeat it until I got it right.
And that's funny because that's how you do it. Yeah. Because, in my shoot job, that's a big respect thing to do for kids. So
well, I'm just waiting for people to send me messages typing out how to say it. And I'm like, that don't help.
Yeah.
You need like the dictionary thing.
Yeah.
The phone
it's still annoying.
Oh my God! What if I spelled? You don't like it when people misspell your name.
Which one?
Your last name, Deezel.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's happened before. Let's see.
Yeah, I felt like a fuel pump several times.
He well, it's probably been a long time since anybody in the ring checked your oil, so that's probably good too.
Rob McBride's probably the last one, a fingerly little bastard.
Yeah.
I just ate dinner. I don't want that visual.
But I'm old school. If somebody don't pronounce my name right, I'm certainly not gonna get mad at him about it.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna hurt my feelings. I'm
So
a
listen to
wrestler,
this.
by God.
Afa and his family relocated to San Francisco, California, in the United States when he was young. At the age of 17, he enlisted in the Marine Corps, so he was a veteran. Upon leaving the Marine Corps, I began his training as a wrestler under family relatives Rocky Johnson and Peter Maivia. He later received supplementary training from Kurt Von Steiger. I always like saying that name. It's fun. Kurt Von Steiger. Never seen the man wrestle, but just love saying his name. He wrestled his first match in 1971 in Phoenix, Arizona. He then trained his brother Sika, and the siblings formed a tag team best known as the Wild Samoans. Throughout the 70s, the Wild Samoans wrestled for Canadian Stampede Wrestling promotion, where Stu Hart took them down in a dungeon and worked them over a few times, it sounds like here. And for numerous NWA affiliates, the Wild Samoans traveled to Japan to wrestle for International Wrestling Enterprise, winning the IWA World Tag Team Championship. In 1979, the Wild Samoans joined the World Wrestling Federation, where they were managed by Lou Albano and referred to as Albano's Wild Men. The wild nature of the brother was conveyed through their unorthodox behavior, which included communicating only in unintelligible grunts and consuming unprepared raw fish. Oh, I love that. Then interviews while approaching in the ring. Yes.
Wait.
I got the pronunciation.
Oh.
Ana Ai.
Ana Ai. Okay.
Ana Ai.
That's the closest I found a YouTube that pronounces it.
Keep in mind, I'm reading off Wikipedia, so take all this with a grain of salt. Don't hold us to any facts on this. Because just as I get to this next paragraph, it says the Wild Samoans then wrestled in Mid-South Wrestling and Jim Crockett Promotions. I think that is not accurate. We talked about it before. I know we saw that they won national tag team titles. That was a Georgia Championship Wrestling Championship. So I don't even know if they ever came through Crockett. I can't find anything in any of my record books that says they did. So I think they.
I've seen other things. I've seen things before it said that they come through there, but I don't remember it. Or
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Must have been in the early 70s. Is all I could say. Or I don't know. This says they returned to WWF in 79.
Even in his like the news stories say that he wrestled there. So like. I don't know. I mean, his family would know better than anybody. But yeah, it says his death was less than 2 months after his brother Sika passed away. So I remember when they flashed it up before they did the tribute video they did for him. When I saw it, I was just like, oh, shit, are you kidding me, man? Another one of my. Well, Afa and Sika were before my time. I started watching WWF. Sika was there, but he was managed by Mr. Fuji and teamed with Kamala for a little while when I first started watching WWF, like 86, 87. And then Sika kind of retired. But I remember like when the Shield came around and I was having a conversation with somebody about, like, man, they fly around the ring like the Midnight Express. And they was like, well, you know who Roman Reigns is, don't you? And I was like, no, his daddy's Sika. That's Sika's boy? Wow, cool. And so I was an instant fanboy of Roman Reigns after that. This says that 1982, they had a brief stint. August 29th, 1982, the Wild Samoans defeated the Fabulous Freebirds to win the NWA National Tag Team titles, which I think is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
And then it says a few months later, they vacated the title and left. Yeah. But it doesn't give me I'll just say by 83, they were in the WWF. Mm-hmm. And so if they were August 29, 1982, they weren't there very long.
I know I've been gone for a little bit because I've been real busy and running in and out, but do we have a new rule?
A new rule.
Yeah, I noticed Reagan keeps raising her hand before she speaks. Have y'all made a new rule, or is that just because she's back at work?
I think she's trying to be nice and just not talk.
Oh, okay.
I remember I did this at the last show too to keep myself calm and collected.
Okay,
I'd raise my hand until somebody acknowledged me, so I could not. So I'd be smooth and collected.
So it's because you're back to work.
Yeah, I guess. No, I'm not back yet. I go back tomorrow.
Oh, you ain't back yet. Okay.
No, we go
prepared.
really late.
Gotcha. Lucky.
No, won't be lucky in June when I'm going to the 17th or 18th.
Another thing I want to cover real quick before we get into it is Wendy Chu here finally actually winning a match on TV. No, I'm kidding. But that did happen. Let's see. I'm flipping through the photos of NXT this week. Does anybody know what happened at NXT this week?
I saw it.
Yeah, I saw that online.
Yeah, so these are some new guys. Where's no, they don't have, you got to be kidding me. Y'all left out photos of the freaking main event.
That was tag. Was it it was the tag team titles, right?
Yes. I can't believe that. That's Level Up. Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. This is the
River show.
Yes, that's the one that's exclusively on Peacock. Let me stop sharing until I can find the right damn gallery. I have WWE photos.
You missed a Hall. Did I not send you the picture of the latest Hall of Fame inductee?
I thought you put that up. You put that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one more.
Kenny and Richie Mitchell. Those are the ones I had.
There's three.
Did I miss one?
Yeah.
My computer.
You've been up a couple of days though, so you might have just.
I probably just missed it. Let me scroll down here. Kenny, Richie.
Can't we just say?
Yeah, just say it.
Matt Houston.
Oh, Matt Houston going in. No, I did.
I don't trust it.
Hey, here's something funny that I wanted to point out to you guys. And this is on the AIWF Mid Atlantic Facebook page. See that Jesse posted, my wife is a superstar because she, was wrestling at AEW Dynamite against Camille. Did you see this video? Look at what this guy is shooting. Just wait. Well, I think you maybe are. This isn't the same one. There's some video floating out there that the guy is congratulating Clara on being in that match, but he zooms in on her ass and that's all you see for the whole 5 seconds. And I was just like, wow, that's kind of creepy. She's a married woman, dude.
They do that all the time though. I mean, you get these perv boys that get on there and that's what they do.
It's just ugh.
Yeah.
Just keep it to yourself. Okay, don't do it. But if you're gonna do it, don't put it on the internet.
Yeah.
This ain't a movie theater, and you ain't Pee Wee Herman, buddy.
Yeah. Just
gross.
You know what, Matt?
What?
I have not posted Matt Houston on the Mid Atlantic page
Okay, here's that thing we were talking about earlier, the new world champion, Barry Koloff, or Koloff. Wow, at Hazel Green, Alabama. Oh, you city slickers. Yeah, there he is being awarded the championship belt. And I can see Greg Anthony's boot over there. Laying falling in defeat. So hopefully we'll have some video of that to share with you fans coming up before too long. Let me see here.
I know why I haven't posted Matt Houston on there yet, because I haven't done the video update of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you got the exclusive here before.
Okay. So Matt Houston, congratulations, sir.
Yeah. that's coming out probably in the next day or so.
All right, let me do a couple of these ads real quick. Let's see. Q algorithm mid-roll ads going to read ads. Let's see here. Premier Auto Detailing is the official detail shop of the AIWF Mid Atlantic. We say hands down the best car cleaning service in town. You call them 336-736-2638. They do residential and commercial jobs. If you're just too lazy to wash your car like me, they can help you out. If you own a business and you have a small car lot and you can't afford to hire somebody to clean the vehicles full time, you can call them up. They can help you out, save you some money there. 336-736-2638. They are available 24 hours a day, so it's okay to call them 2 o'clock in the morning. No, I'm just kidding. It would be funny if you did that, though. 336, but they might not be so cordial. 736-2638. Premier Auto Detailing. They serve the Mount Airy, Surry County area, but if price is right, I'm sure they'd come a little farther. But give them a call if you need help cleaning that vehicle, or if you've got one that you've been, has been up on blocks at grandma's for about 20 years and you finally got it running, and it needs to, have all the spiders knocked off of it and the, nice wash and wax job. Give them a call. They can help you out. Premier Auto Detailing, 336-736-2638. Tees Creations Custom Apparel. If you need custom made t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, any kind of thing, they do tumblers. They have all kinds of t-shirts, everything, even a front license plate that says Tristan Ty on it. You don't have to get the one that says Tristan Ty. They can make you one with your name on it. Or you can get one that says Tristan Ty and ride around with it. It'll be a little creepy, but okay, whatever floats your boat. But Tees Creations, they are all over the web. TeesCreations22.com. Tees Creations by Allied Apparel on Facebook, TikTok at Tees Creations, and on Shopify. So check them out there too. Tees Creations, available all over the web, and they are also the official merchandise people of the AIWF Mid Atlantic. So boys, you don't have to go to that place in Chicago and do it through the mail. You've got the ability to get your custom made merch right here close to home, and I'm sure much cheaper, or you'll get to keep a bigger cut anyway of any profits made on your stuff. So please see the people at Tees Creations if you're interested in purchasing any wrestling memorabilia or if you want to have some made. And of course, if you'd like to advertise with this lovely show, it's only $10 a month. If we take a week off, you get 4 weeks of a read for $10. So hey, $10 a month. That's all it takes. And we'll do video commercials if necessary. We just hadn't had that come up yet. But anyway, yeah, $10 a month, $6 for 1 week. We'd love to have you join on. We have a lot of fun on this program, and we cut up and carry on, and we'd love to help out your small business. We're putting a headlock on high advertising prices. Show me any wrestling show anywhere that's any cheaper than us. Look, man, if you go on Eric Bischoff's YouTube page, you got to give him $10 just to answer a question. We're actually going to give something to you in return that'll help your business. So there you have it. $10 a month. Can't beat it. Rick Deezel.
Sure.
I ran across. Oh, and by the way, what we were talking about on NXT is AIWF Mid Atlantic's own Andre Chase has struck gold again. Tag team gold, this time with Rich Holland. They won the NXT Tag Team Championship. And kudos to him. And Javon Evans, did y'all see? He's got a bouncy shirt available at www.shop.com. Our boy is.
I've seen that.
Boy, he's in merch now. So remember when I told you, Javon, about people coming out of the woodwork going to want your money now that they see you're selling T-shirts? Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, you ain't got to go all redneck and put your wallet on a chain, but I'd put a tight grip on it.
Just don't let them. This goes out to Andre Chase, Javon Evans, Jack, Clara, either of those guys. If you ever have merch, don't let them make it with a long coattail, because every goddamn promoter you've ever worked for, except us, will try to ride it as far as they can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah. But man, it's really good, man, because I know like Javon Evans is kind of a phenom. You know, he's only 20 years old and already in NXT. But Andre Chase came up a little bit harder. You know, he started wrestling when he was a teenager too, and only hit NXT, what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago now?
Yeah.
I think he got signed during the pandemic, actually, or maybe right before it. So he's been there a little while. He's been there a minute, but still, man, you want to talk about somebody that suffered for the wrestling business. Him and his brother both certainly have. And it's just, it's good to see all that hard work, you know. And we used to joke, well, yeah, Andre he never wins any matches. Well, no, he doesn't win that many matches, but he tries really hard. But I know Booker T is very critical of him. But it's good now. He struck gold twice, and I'm hoping this time him and Rich can hold on to the title a little longer than one title defense. So, you know, so good luck. You know, and Reagan's kids must be bothering her.
Hey, if you're in NXT anymore, you're just it's an accomplishment just to make it through the cuts that they have about 3 times a year.
No kidding. Yeah.
Because that place they are bad to push you out so they can bring in fresh faces.
Yeah. Well, you know, wrestling fans, we're all fickle. We like new.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always for something new. Like NASCAR announced yesterday that they're bringing the freaking Busch Clash to Winston-Salem and Bowman Gray Stadium, and my head about exploded.
I seen that, and the first thing went through my mind is, oh, Matt Carter got to clean his chair.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get to go to Bowman Gray this year because of wrestling, and we had other stuff going on, and just and so we didn't get to go up there this year, and it's a fun time. But we always go over and sit in turn 4 where they sell the beer because there's more cops there, and they never have any trouble in that section. That's actually the drunk tank is the safest place to sit at Bowman Gray because it has the best security. You will not meet anybody that's not friendly. You know, nobody's trying to fight you because you're wearing the wrong T-shirt. You know, it's just not to say that that's a common occurrence at Bowman Gray, but
it's mostly it's mostly in the past been the drivers that like to get in a fight there.
Yeah, the policeman that I and I always find a cop to talk to every time we go up there because I know we'll get some good stories. But they always say that the roughest duty they have to work is the garage. They actually all hope when they sign up for the OT to work Bowman Gray that they get to work the beer section because nothing ever happens up there. You might have to like look at somebody and sternly go, "Hey," you know, and that's about it. You know, but they all hate working the garage, the paddock. You know, it's just because that's where the fights are. And so, but anyway, so yeah, so we're wrestling fans. We love new stuff. I mean, I'm already starting to get bored with the Wyatt 6, and y'all know how much of a Bray Wyatt mark I was.
Yeah.
It's because they're not wrestling enough. They've only wrestled 1 6-man so far, and they're going to wrestle again on Raw Monday night. But I'm just like, you know. So congratulations to. I almost said his shoot name because I got it on Andre Chase. Because I got it written down. I got his shoot name written down in my notes. Rick Deezel, you posted a really good video to the network that caught my attention this morning or over the weekend. It's a Martinsville television show.
Yeah.
Where it starts off with Eddie and Jumpin' Jimmy. And they're talking about a show tonight at the Boxing Center. And then during the middle of the TV show, I was asking Brian about this before we went on the air. During the middle of the TV show, y'all find out that some unnamed person called the Boxing Center and canceled the show. And nobody knew, you know, until the morning of the show. And Brian couldn't remember who, you know, because it's been
I can't either. But my biggest, I forgot that was the show I mooned the camera on until the end of it.
Yeah. I think that part got cut out, didn't it? Or everything went black. Okay. I didn't
know because Charles ended the show with a still shot of the crack of my ass.
Yeah. And so I was trying to figure out, like, because that was before I came along, a few months before I came along. But Eddie had said something about Sebastian Kane leaving, and I remembered at that time there was a lot of bad blood on both sides when that happened, and a lot of hurt feelings. And so, me just sitting there watching it, I'm like, that sounds like Sebastian Kane. Do you ever remember getting the answer machine tape from Lonnie and the people at the boxing center and what y'all ever found out?
No, I cannot remember that to save my life.
I know it's been a long time.
I'm old and I have a hard time remembering to put my shoes on.
That's all right. I was hoping I'd be, just seeing it would help jog your memory a little bit, and but
I think it was what, 96?
It had to have been, yeah. It had to have been.
That's almost 30 years ago, 28 years ago.
And I was telling Matt that I know that the people who did the boxing at the boxing center weren't too happy about wrestling moving in to their territory. So I said, that they could have been somebody from them, could have been the ones to do it too. So
well, and keep in mind, what was his name? He didn't like me anyhow.
Who, Lonnie?
What was the boxer's name over there?
Oliver McCall.
Oliver McCall. Yeah, he didn't like me anyhow because of that thing I said on live TV that time about him.
When he got knocked out by Frank Bruno and he cried?
When I said that the only person on the planet he could actually beat was his wife.
Oh, my.
That was risky, man. He was. He
kind of went south after that. So
yeah, I would say
that all could have been my fault.
No, because I think there was some truth to that. I think he may have been brought up on some charges similar.
Yeah,
to that
he was he got a domestic violence charge or something one time, and you know me.
Yeah, and Don. Well, it was actually cool because I am not saying domestic violence is cool, people, but this was what came of it was actually cool because of his issues.
Reagan, have that hand up again.
Of his issues that he had, he didn't really have any money. So Don King himself actually had to come to Martinsville and bring a lawyer, to help him out. And so the paper in Martinsville Bulletin had a picture of Oliver McCall and Don King walking out of the Henry County Courthouse, the old Henry County Courthouse up there in downtown Martinsville. So that was interesting.
Oh, that is fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Yeah. So, Martinsville had a brush with a con man once. So, Don King was there. But anyway.
Yeah, but it still wasn't as good as the Ramona whatever thing.
Oh, yeah.
I got my shots in on that one, too.
Well, that was a big story. I mean,
yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, at the time, and if you still live in Martinsville, you know how ridiculous it is because Martinsville has a population of probably 7,000 people in all of Henry County, maybe 10. And there are 2 local cable access stations, Star News and BTW 21. Well, when Cable 6 first came out, everybody thought it was cool at first, but then Charles got covering more controversial stories. And the one that really got the town bent out of shape was when Bill Wyatt and WMVA crowd decided to start up their own over-the-air broadcast television station called WSSV. And they managed to get themselves on cable channel 5, which meant 5 and 6 on your cable up there were the 2 rival local stations. And all they covered was Martinsville. Now, keep in mind, our network affiliates were in Roanoke and Lynchburg. And some people watch the Greensboro network affiliates. So these are independent stations. Charles viewed them as competition. And he had heard rumors that Bill Wyatt was fooling around with one of the sales people over there at the TV station. Her name was Ramona Hines. And that rumor had kind of been going around. Well, Ramona's husband found out about it and called Charles and said, come to my house. I've got something I want to tell you about Bill Wyatt. And so Charles is thinking, all right, I can roast my competition. Let's go. He shows up as Ramona's husband is holding their infant child, right? He gets Charles to roll the camera and says, Charles, I want to let everybody know that Bill Wyatt is having an affair with my wife, Ramona.
Yes.
And I mean, ooh. I mean, called it, and of course Charles put it on the air that night, and oh man, it ended both marriages. I think there was some legal charges involved. Charles ended up getting invited to the Geraldo's. No, not
Yeah,
Geraldo.
man.
No, it wasn't Geraldo. It was Maury Povich.
I remember
man.
he went on a national talk show. I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah, it was Maury Povich.
I remember after that all blew over, even to this day, I regret not getting more involved.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wish I should have done the show dressed as Bill White or at least Ramona.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is just fascinating that actually happened. Because like if you saw that in a movie, you would be shocked. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
You would be like, that's over the top. That's too unrealistic.
Yeah.
You saw it in the movie.
But he went right on TV and did it, and they covered it. It was it was fodder. They got weeks and months of live call-in shows off of that. And the TV stations are feuding with each other. There was a lot of bad blood. Charles and Bill are friends now. Ironically enough, they actually work together because Bill writes for the Martinsville Bulletin. And I had
Ramona wasn't a bad looking gal. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's an
no by Henry County standards. Yeah, by Henry County standards, not bad at all. But in typical Henry County fashion, it became big. They got to where they couldn't go nowhere. I mean, oh yeah. And then of course, Rick Deezel making fun of it on Saturday mornings too. But Ramona ended up leaving town. Can't imagine why. But then Bob told me years later when I was working there that she had come back to visit them and they went out to the Dutch Inn and she pulled the fire alarm while they were in the Dutch Inn and everybody had to evacuate the building. So she was still like out of control.
Well, she probably was crazy.
Yeah. So I don't think they ever caught her, but I hope the statute of limitations has run out on that by now. I think so. I think that was around 05, 06 when that happened. So yeah. But if you're wondering, yeah, it was Ramona, guys. But just unbelievable. And then, Charles got the reputation for being, salacious and yellow journalism and all that kind of stuff. But the people of Martinsville, Henry County ate it up. And my cousin Gary, who owned the Dixie Pig, is convinced that was one of the things that started to begin to drive business away from Martinsville.
Because it was so petty.
Yeah, and it was being broadcast all over TV. And when people would come to Martinsville and go into hotels and flip on this local channel and they were talking about all this salacious stuff, it's like, these people are a bunch of fucking morons. Why would we want to bring business here? So, I don't know. That's an interesting perspective. I work for Charles, so it's hard for me to be unbiased because I like Charles on a personal level. But, some of that is true, I believe, because if you go stay in a hotel in Martinsville to this day, the Cable 6, the local channels are not on any of the hotel TVs. None of them.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Very salacious.
It's
somebody should make a movie out of that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they never did.
Yeah, they got looked at by a couple of reality TV shows, back in like 07, but they could never, the producers could never get any of the networks to pick them up. They went and shot a few episodes, but none of the networks would pick it up. But yeah, very interesting. I learned a lot when I was at Star News. And it was funny. I worked at WMVA, the competition, after Bill Wyatt sold it. I remember Bill Wilson bought it, the car dealer. And after the AIWF Ringside channel, because of, what was that girl's name? That caused us so much trouble at Cable 6. Charles' girlfriend at the time. Remember her?
Charles' girlfriend.
Yeah, he had a girlfriend at the time. And I can't remember her name. But she was mean. She hated us, and she would always put the mouth on us to Azile. I know. Azile told me all about it when I worked for her.
See, I always thought Azile hated us, but I don't really think she did. I think we just made her nervous.
We did. We made her. I talked to Azile about that when I worked up there, and she said, that a couple of times they had fights inside the studios, and she didn't like that because of all that expensive equipment around there. But she didn't really mind the wrestlers, but yeah, they did make her nervous, and she did have to hear some shit from the churches about it. And see, I got in trouble. Just a funny story. I'll tell you, I got in trouble up there one night for voicing my displeasure with trunk or treats that churches do, because it has kids go to church and take candy from strangers from the trunks of their car instead of going and meeting their neighbors like I did when I was a little kid. I knew everybody on my street in Martinsville because of Halloween. You know, you remember, oh, Ms. Orton gives us popcorn and apples, but Janice always gives us Three Musketeers. But there's a lady, Ms. Barrow, down at the end of the street. She always gives us full-size Three Musketeers. You know, as a little kid, that you meet, and so I have a fine place for it. And I made the comment live on the air one night. I was like, these damn churches with these trunk or treats are just killing Halloween around here. I bet you I didn't have but 4 trick-or-treaters this year. And after the show ended, I got called into Azal's office, and she explained to me how much the churches pay for their time on the weekend. And I understood why she was upset, and I understood why wrestling made her nervous after that. Because those church, you know, those local channels all day on Sunday are all different church programs from around the area and around the country. So, and they make a fortune on those.
Well, if there was a boundary, we found a way to push it back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you're glad to know that that Trick or Treat has won out. Churches and places still do trunk or treats, but they usually do it on a different day than Halloween.
Yeah.
They normally have their trunk or treat thing either like the Friday or Saturday before or after, instead of doing it on actually Halloween.
Yeah, where we used to live in Ardmore near a Baptist hospital. Oh man, I would bet that some houses saw 500 trick or treaters.
Oh, that'd be
like
awesome.
Those roads were just packed with, and the cops, you know, be out directing, and like there'd just be hundreds and hundreds of kids just going down the Miller Street near Baptist. So if you ever want a big time, you know, find someplace to park and go there Halloween if you haven't got someplace to go. So
we don't even get trick-or-treaters here now because we're an old neighborhood and everybody in it's old. So we don't get no trick-or-treaters. Plus, it's on a rural road, you know what I'm saying? So you never know when a kid might get whacked by a car.
Yeah, it's not exactly
hey, there was a time, Brian. You remember we used to have fun at my house at Halloween.
Yeah, we did a haunted house.
Yeah, we'd make a haunted house in my living room.
Do you remember that one? Oh, sorry.
We did one time. Brian come out of a coffin with a candy bowl in it, where kids would skip my steps as they was leaving, and the parents have to get the candy and take it out for them.
Didn't remember. I never heard this story.
That is hilarious. That's some good Halloweening right there, boy. I think Sammy from remember what was the movie Trick or Treat? Sammy, the little demon pumpkin thing. He would approve of that. I think Sammy would get a kick out of that.
Remember the AIWF did a haunted house in Dean Huff's auto detailing place one year.
Yep, we did one in the Elkin Armory one year.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did one in the locker room of the Elkin Armory.
Yeah,
we did a haunted house.
Yeah, and what's her name? There was a girl there. I think she was Brandon's girlfriend. She was being operated on, and she had such a blood-curdling scream, like in that room, man. People would like, that
was Jackie Anderson was the doctor in that little
scene.
He
was.
Yeah,
because I remember the one at Dean Huff's. Chris had one of those things that make harnesses so it could look like he was being hung.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Tenney, that is.
Yeah, he said he was really sore afterwards from that harness hanging there all night, but he loved it.
But I miss those days. You can't do that no more in the wrestling business.
What?
Stuff like you know, where we were so tight knit, you know, we could do the haunted houses and the things like that, but it's hard for companies to do that anymore because you don't have the loyalty to your company.
Well, and I think it's very hard for any kind of like independent person to put on a haunted house now because of all the regulations. So,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well,
but yeah, you don't have the core people that would, yeah.
I'm lucky. I live in a neighborhood. My next door neighbor right here is an elementary school. So there is no shortage of little kids in this neighborhood, and they cycle out, every 3. I mean, because there's plenty of kids in the neighborhood that just walk to school, but there's always young people moving in here, having more kids. And so this is a very Halloween friendly neighborhood, and man, but we live in our townhome unit. It's a bunch of old folks, right? And they don't give out candy. So what Jinky and I have to do is go out next to the mailboxes where we've got a little shelter out there and set up decorations and stand by the sidewalk and hand out candy.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
And we play Halloween music and all that kind of stuff. And then last year, some teenagers were walking by and one of them goes, "Hey, do y'all have candy?" And I said, "No, we're just sitting out here listening to Thriller." Come on.
Yeah, where we moved, we don't get anything either because we live in a tiny little cul-de-sac. But we still put up our stuff because we decorate pretty big. But when we lived in Ardmore, we would have a few, but like we never get to hand out candy because of our children. So and then we go to a friend's house in a development now on Halloween.
First time I went to Brian Ray's house, I thought I was in Middle Earth.
Yes, it does. Yeah. I don't want to dox myself because that would be very easy to find.
Yeah.
If you were to look for those.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Middle Earth, did y'all see the Rings of Power's new season is coming in a few weeks? So
I haven't watched that. We're watching an old thing right now, Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yes.
It is so good.
What's
Don't
that
say
on?
anything. We're only a few episodes in the second season. What, Matt?
What platform is that on?
Right now, we're watching it on Stars.
Because my mom pays for absolutely every single channel you can imagine. We watch it on Stars. So.
Yeah, I ain't springing for Stars. I'm gonna have to spring for Netflix soon enough when Raw moves over there, and I'm not.
How you think that's gonna go?
I don't see where to be any problem. Netflix has made it clear that they want to start doing more sports.
But are they gonna be? You think they got their act together enough to do it live?
Yeah, they'll be fine. I mean, they do comedy specials live now. So
do they?
Yeah.
I don't ever watch Netflix, so that's.
I got to where I wouldn't watch it. I got to where I very rarely watch Netflix because where they've got to do they're doing so much original stuff now. That it's and to me it's not, for lack of a better term, Reagan, keep your hands down. It's not controversial enough for me. It's too politically correct.
I think Heels is going to start being on Netflix. That wrestling show that was on whatever.
Damian Wayne's in that.
Really?
Is he?
Yeah.
I need to watch.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, I live it. So, I mean, I don't know how much, I'd ring announce for an independent show. I don't know if I want to watch it on TV, I do it in real life. But I don't know. Is it good? Have you guys watched it before?
I have not.
I've seen clips of it. And I know Reagan has made this point before, but I think our only complaint is that it's like they have this pretty decent building and they pack it every single time, but they always talk about how they're bleeding money. And it's like, we have a packed house every time. I don't know what the hell you're complaining about.
Well, they could be touching on the fact that there are so many wrestlers out there that demand a lot more money than they're worth.
Yeah.
That'll get me in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem. I don't want to.
I drive 3 hours. Yeah, but you actually work for 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, and you didn't sell any tickets.
Yeah, you didn't sell no tickets whatsoever.
Yeah.
Nobody had a clue. Nobody bought a ticket to come in that door to watch you. So every dime I spent on you was hoping that if I ever brought you back, you'd bring in people. So
yeah, that and at my job, I used to live 5 minutes away. Then I moved 20 minutes away. I told them they needed to start paying me more because I'm driving farther, but they didn't. They didn't seem to agree with me.
for some reason, when you go work somewhere, they want to pay you from the time you punch in to the time you punch out. Who moron come up with that?
Yeah, I know. How un-American is that, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't. I mean,
did you realize I had to get a Big Mac meal on the way there?
I mean, if you want to get paid for your driving time, then you need a different profession for right now, like DoorDash or truck driving or something I don't know. I mean,
or delivering for Instacart, any
yeah,
of that kind of stuff. There's a lot of that. I mean, some nice man brought me stuff from Sam's Club today.
I know that's why we weren't at the top. We got a Grubhub order. So
yeah,
well, don't get me wrong. I know that if somebody hears this, they're gonna be saying, "I hate son of a bitch," but I mean, it's just. I guess it is the way of the world. But the thing about it is, you got to think from the promoter's side of it. That a lot of times you ain't got the money to pay somebody your fans have never heard of $150 just because they have to drive away.
Yeah,
and there's enough wrestling companies you don't have to go 4 hours.
Yeah, if you live in Cleveland, you do not have to leave Ohio to find wrestling. I know for a fact.
That probably is more than I'm making a day at my job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I don't know. Oh Lord.
Yeah, but like I said, I always get in trouble when I get into that. But that's what has put so many wrestling companies out of business. Is wrestling, and like Reagan said, if you can't afford to, if you want to travel and you want to wrestle like that, don't figure your drive time in, because unless you're a hell of a draw, I mean, you know what I'm saying. But because a lot of promoters can't, but a lot of promoters do it because they want to, they want the boys to talk good about them. What they don't realize is that the boys ain't gonna talk good about you anyhow. So
no, he's a cheap bastard,
Yeah, so they're gonna have something to say about you. There's gonna be the ones that will, play you up. But if they ever get on your bad side, give a damn how big of a money mark you think you are. There is gonna be some wrestlers out there that talk pure shit about you. And if you can't handle it, tuck the old nut sack back up in the butthole and go on and do something else.
Yeah. Oh, mercy. Yeah.
I have been gone a while, haven't I?
No, it's funny though. I don't ever remember anybody else ever, because we have a system in place where we track the attendance these days.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever come up to me and be like, "Hey, what was the house on the such and such?" I'm like, "Well, I can't tell you without the approval of management, but I've never had it asked."
Yeah.
How'd we do? Because Charles Rourke said this many years ago, and I found it to be 100% true. It's really hard to make money on wrestling.
It's virtually impossible.
Yeah.
Well, this is. Go ahead, Matt. You can. Were you done?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my thing. It's like, people don't know how to run their social media. Like they
Guilty as charged.
For some reason, they don't know what they need to do. They don't sit down and just use common sense. You don't really have to have somebody tell you this. Just think, even though I'm going to tell you, promote the show on whatever social media you have. Promote every single show you're on, every single one of them. Put up a promo if you have to, every show you're on. And if you see the show poster, share the show poster. I mean, and it's fine to show. I mean, you shouldn't look. It feels like some people are like, "Well, I don't want to spam people." Well, in this day and age, you gotta. It's not really spamming, but you gotta put it out there. You gotta invite your friends. You gotta share like in some wrestling. I mean, we do this where we have the event page. Say you're going to the event page. Share the event page with your group. You can do that neat little thing where you just put @followers, and it gives it to everybody that's following you. That's what you need to do. Put up good pictures of your match. Don't put 500 pictures where it looks like if you flip it, it's a flip book. Put up the good pictures. Put up highlights of your match. I mean, record your match, and just don't put up the whole thing because you don't want it ruined for it, but put up the highlights. Keep doing those things. Post about the wrestling, post about where you're going, post about like what it's like to be a wrestler. Like, do all these things on your social media, and you'll start seeing more bookings come in. You'll start seeing the that you pull people in to the show, and then you can justify what you're asking because you can look, hey, I invited all these people and they came. That's what you have to do.
That's your leverage. That is your leverage as a wrestler, is how many people comes to that show to see you.
Yeah.
That's how you can demand, a bump in your payout, not the fact that you drug. And I'll put it out there. I talk to wrestlers all the time. I think you guys see some of them, don't you? That I talk to on there that just want all this crazy money to come from somewhere else. And trust me, $150, $200 is crazy money in an independent wrestling show for a guy who's not going to draw that.
Yeah, considering ticket prices are like $8 and $6 or $9 and $7.
And people could say, well, raise your ticket prices. Well, when you run as many shows as we do in an area affected by the economy as we do, that will hurt you worse than anything.
Yeah.
Raising your ticket price. You'll see your crowd go down. Bump your ticket prices up.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's better to keep your ticket prices low and book your talent according to what you can afford, and then learn how to run a damn show with that talent, which is what we've been doing for almost 33 years.
Yeah.
So if you want to say we don't know what we're talking about, I got a pretty damn good idea that we do.
Yeah. And I say this jokingly, but I mean it for real too. We spare every expense, because it's virtually impossible to make money on a wrestling show.
Unless you're money laundering, it's hard to make money off an independent show.
Or unless you're a money mark who just wants to play wrestling promoter.
Yeah.
You got tons of money that you've made from whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you want to play wrestling promoter. And so you get into the business and you have fun doing it.
Yeah, you're not doing it for profit. You're doing it because you like it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you got that kind of money, hey, it gives more places for the boys to get gigs.
Exactly.
So it's a good thing. Being a money mark is not a derogatory thing, although it's getting to be with Tony Khan. But like, as far as
an independent, a bad name.
But as far as any independent promoter, man, if you got that fucking money, man, yes, keep doing it. If you enjoy it, you can do it.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? If you do that, don't ever look down on the promotions that don't do it or can't do it, because you're not a better promotion than they are. You just have more money.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only difference between you and them, is how much money you put into your show. Period.
Because what you're going to see too is you start seeing people who go to those where they get paid an amount that is not on par with what they can get at other wrestling. So then they just stay there. And so your talent's getting squandered because you're only working at one place because they're the ones who'll pay you the big money, but that's one place. But if you work a ton of different places and make okay amount of money, then, it's like you got to make a little bit of a sacrifice to get yourself out there across the indie promotions. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, but
well, the only difference between Tony Khan and Billy Corgan is how much money Tony Khan puts into his shows. Period. That's the only difference between the two.
Yeah, well, Billy Corgan.
They're both running wrestling shows.
Billy Corgan's a millionaire. Tony Khan's a billionaire. His father. What did his father invent? Some kind of windshield wiper? It's something that just about everybody has to have.
Who's that?
Shad Khan. What was the?
I don't know what made him his money, but now he just owns a bunch of sports.
Yeah, well, I mean, he got those after he became a billionaire. I mean, if you see a picture of him from like 10, 15, 20 years ago, Shad had long hair, long curly hair, always had the mustache. But like, he looked like the kind of guy that worked real hard for his money and was going to party his ass off, as he could. Now
it looks like that now.
Yeah. Well, did you
But
see him sleeping at the
I would
football
say,
game that
okay,
time? Oh, go ahead, Reagan. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say about Billy Corgan. The difference between him and Tony Khan, not just the money, is Billy Corgan actually worked with TNA for a while in their back, helping write storylines. So he has a little bit more
On-hand
experience in the
experience.
wrestling. Huh? Yeah. So yeah, he does have a bunch of money, and he did buy the NWA, and he is putting that out. But at least like before, he was helping in the back and doing storylines with another organization. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, but and I also don't think he promotes his like it's going to be the WWE's like
right. He's not self-delusional and think he's going to be the next WWE.
Well, I've always said about Tony Khan is a typical, for lack of a better term, money mark. Let other people do all the work, and then he just comes out at the appropriate time and takes all the credit.
Well, he's not got much to take credit for right now. They were 622,000 last week.
I saw that. I couldn't even listen. I clicked on it to hear what Jim Cornette said, and I couldn't even. It hurt my soul. Not because of what, just to see that number.
Well, Jim Cornette, in his own unique way, is trying to help AEW. And the theme that he keeps going back to is Tony, hire an experienced booker.
Mm-hmm.
That's what him and Brian both say, because they say the same things we do. We do not, we make fun of stuff because it's bad on AEW, but nobody wants to see it fail. It's more places for the boys to work.
Right.
But I wish there could be viable competition, because WWE's just eating their lunch. And people like Dave Meltzer that say, oh, AEW's ratings are suffering because of the Olympics. Oh, really? Oh, really? Well, Raw and NXT for a couple of weeks not only were preempted by the Olympics, they were moved to a different network and only lost about 300,000 viewers. So tell me, the wrestling fans are seeking it out when they want to see it.
Yeah. And why does he have 3 shows? That's too many shows. Tony Khan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 3 shows is too many shows when you're that.
It's just like WCW did. What they have? Nitro, Thunder, and Saturday Night.
And main event. And syndication.
Main event. And it just, I don't know, because that when I do watch it, I've been busy this week getting children back to school and stuff. I enjoy some of it. Mm-hmm. Like I say this every week. It's like I'm not one of those people that comes down on them because I think they're stupid. Like the wrestling itself, because there's a lot of wrestlers I enjoy. And I think they're getting ready to screw over Ray Phoenix's contract, because the WWE's looking at him and Pentagon Jr. And I've read a few, and it's just speculation, but they're going to make him extend his contract because he didn't work on injury days.
I don't know if they can legally do that.
I don't either, but that was something they said they might try. I don't know.
I'd tell you what, if my supervisor at work said some shit like that to me, I'd lawyer up real quick, because especially if I was getting a deal with NXT, where I've just seen Ethan Page go in, who was not being used in AEW, and immediately go right up the ladder and become champion, and now his career is starting to take off. It's just like, wait a minute. Well, those bastards down in Florida might not pay me as much money, but if I pull time with them now and I get on the WWE main roster, I might be able to start, collecting a retirement fund. I mean, how many more years? How old is Ray Phoenix? How many years does he have left?
Okay, he's still young. He's in his early 30s, I'd say, mid 30s maybe.
Okay, right. So these days with modern medical technology, you get in NXT now, get up to the main roster, because you got to realize people like CM Punk is close to aging out now. Rey Mysterio is close to aging out now. Rey Mysterio, though, there's something, I don't know, there's something weird about him. He's had bad knees since he was 20 years old, but he's still wrestling. Like, what is the deal with him? He's
33, Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, but as the time moves on, people age out, and there's going to be room for more young people. So what's going to be interesting, I think, is NXT's about to move over to the CW, broadcast television. So even SmackDown's going to cable, Raw's going to Netflix, but there's still going to be a WWE show on broadcast television, right? And their first night, they're having a show at the Allstate Arena, the old Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, and CM Punk's going to be on it. The next week, for their second week on broadcast television, they're going to be in St. Louis at the big building, and Randy Orton's going to be on that show. So how long is it before NXT starts kicking the shit out of AEW in the ratings because they're on free broadcast over the antenna TV? That'll be interesting.
So do you think that Tony Khan's just too stubborn or too stupid? He's got to be one of the two S's.
Stubborn. I don't think he's stupid.
I think it's both.
I think it's both.
Really?
I think it's that stupidity that comes from being stubborn.
And from being rich and nobody around you tells you no.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the trappings of being rich and surrounding yourself with a bunch of yes men who tell you that all your ideas are the most brilliant thing ever.
Or you know what happened to Veruca Salt? That didn't work out for her. If you want to take a fictional character that acts like that.
But even if everybody around you don't tell you no, do you not even pay the least bit of attention in the world to everybody else in the world who's telling you actually the people who make your money?
Why is he not married? His sister's married. I think that's got something to do with it too. Honestly,
he needs to get laid. He's a dumbass because he needs to get laid.
I mean, there's
no, he doesn't have a woman being like, "You idiot! You're bleeding a bunch of money. You need to get your act together."
Yeah. He needs a wife to keep him in check. I mean, he can't just keep doing blow and banging hookers your whole life, dude. You gotta
How old is he?
I think he's like 41.
The thing is like, but you think the people that he surrounds himself with are even telling him no?
No, they're not.
No, I don't think
no, they talk shit behind his back, but nobody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, do you think the people that run it with him, like, what are they? Shit.
I know the Young Bucks aren't telling him the truth. They just
that's what I was trying to say. My brain stopped.
They're trying to bleed him dry.
And I just feel like
the fine Christians they are. Don't get me started on that.
I saw the funniest TikTok. It was of a guy who had never seen wrestling watching that match where they pour gasoline on Jack Perry, and it was one of the. I should have sent it to you. He's like, I don't like that.
Yeah, he was kind of fruit batty, right? You know what I mean? When I say that, I saw that. That was hilarious. And that's an honest to God reaction from someone. And I agree with him. If that was the first time I was seeing wrestling, I wouldn't like that either. Are they going to murder this man right in front of me? Why are we showing this on TV?
I've been watching wrestling my whole life. I didn't like it either.
Yeah. I mean, and that's because I
have set people on fire, and I didn't like it. So.
And what's so sad is there were parts of that match that I thoroughly enjoyed, but that just ruined it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's the way it always is when I watch it. I'm always like, oh my God, this was so good. Then this happened and it was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But
and everybody's going to say, well, the WWE used gas back in the Attitude Era. Yes, there was a time when Earl Hebner was knocked out that Kane and Paul Bearer poured gas on him to revive him because gas was part of the stipulation of the match. Kane said if he lost the first blood match, he'd set himself on fire. Kane was wearing a full bodysuit and a mask. There was no way he was losing a first blood match. Odds kind of stacked in his favor. Remember that King of the Ring 98? Same show where the Undertaker threw Mankind off the cell. Mm-hmm. But he didn't light a match. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he did set his brother on fire in a casket, but that was a safely controlled. I'm sure the Undertaker did not burn alive anyway, because when they opened the casket, it was empty. And then you heard the boom, he disappeared.
And what year was that?
98.
That was when people didn't have any sense in wrestling. That was before people realized getting hit in the head every night was a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned from those mistakes. We learned from those mistakes.
We was on the roll, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of lessons learned from Chris Benoit's homicidal rampage. So and it is what it is. You know, that started to uncork a lot of this, and then when the NFL started getting into looking into head injury protocol, and if you guys hadn't watched any football yet this year, you watched any preseason, there's been some rule changes on kickoffs that are going to piss a lot of people off, but they're doing it because they don't want people running full speed from one end of the field to the other into each other. And, you know, it's people are aware of freaking head injuries now.
You
know?
Yeah, that's the thing. The people that aren't happy about it, you need to be glad that they're doing these things for football to survive. Because if not, if they ignore these things and just keep letting players get concussions, then it's going to eventually be the end of football. Yeah. So they're not doing these changes out of the kindness of their heart. They're doing it for self-preservation, and they need to realize that.
And this country needs football because football brings so many people together. Even if you don't watch it, that's fine, but you're in the vast minority. And we need sports in this country to bring us all together. Look, I couldn't believe the French people were chanting USA at the Olympics. Sport is a great thing. You know, it's a uniting factor. And same in, you know, wrestling's the same way. It brings people together. People that you like. I would never hang out with a couple with, you know, 4 boys under 10 that are running wild through the Spectrum Center, hooping and hollering and fighting with each other. And, you know, dad's getting ready to whip them right in the middle of the Spectrum Center in front of everybody. But at WWE, I'll sit next to them gladly for 3 hours. You know what I mean? Not saying that I don't like kids, but I don't like kids.
Be careful. Be careful what you say.
Why?
I knew somebody one time that didn't like kids and had twins.
I think I might know who you're talking about. Oh, mercy.
I still barely like kids. So.
Well, you know, a parent told me one time many years ago, so, like, no, my kids are fine because they're mine, you know, and I can put up with their crap, but it's everybody else's little snot-nosed punks that I hate. And I was like, but you don't really like yours either. And he was like, no, they're annoying as hell too. He said, I just like them better than other people. So and I was like, oh, okay. So God bless you. Let's see here. I got some more ads to read. Start thinking about what y'all want to talk about on the other side of this. Let's see here, because I got nothing. I'm through my checklist. Branch Management was our first sponsor, and they're still with us. God bless them. Lawn care, landscaping work, gutter cleaning. I don't know about potted plants, but I'm sure the greenhouses still got stuff in them, right?
Yeah, we had a big sale this week.
Got
rid of a bunch of ferns.
So, yeah. Hey, speaking of ferns,
I guess you can call them. I don't know.
It was the all fern sale at Branch Management, and so
it's all that's left.
It's all that's left. All that's left is ferns. I was meaning to tell you, a greenhouse down here in Concord's got in Venus fly traps. They're selling them now. But anyway, Branch Management offers all kinds of pressure washing, general contracting, and gutter cleaning. Free estimates. 336-648-2487. That number one more time is 336-648-2487 for any type of around the house use or work that you need done. Like I said, general handyman service. They can't fix the refrigerator, but they can take care of stuff out in the yard. Can they? I don't know.
No, but they can certainly eat the food that's in it.
All right, there you go. They can't fix your refrigerator, but they'll help you eat the food before it goes bad.
Right.
Call them Branch Management, 336-648-2487. Tees Treats is our most delicious sponsor and their official food vendor of AIWF Mid Atlantic. Their food truck based in Mount Airy, great pizza, delicious dog, decadent desserts, and the corn dogs are a big hit, I hear now.
Yes.
You know,
we talked to the supplier the other day.
Yeah.
For the hot dogs, for the corn dogs. And they said, we're just going to order 10 cases for you.
That's pretty good.
If that tells you anything.
How many corn dogs are in a case of corn dogs? I'd like to know a case.
Probably 20 or 30.
And she dips some dough on her own, though, right?
Yeah. She dips them, hand dips every one of them.
Oh, okay. So these are not pre-prepared. She dips them in her own
No, she
cornmeal.
hand dips them things, and they're John Holmes size corn dogs.
Yeah. So come to T's Treats and get your John Holmes dog. If you don't know who John Holmes is, look him up, but don't do it at work.
Google it.
Peter North also might be a more.
Yeah, but don't Google that either.
Dude, what's the other thing we're not supposed to Google? Don't Google what?
Peter North. That might be a more up-to-date reference.
Oh, okay. Peter North. There. Yeah, don't do it on a work computer, though, folks.
No, not safe.
Or if the kids are in the room.
Yeah, or if the kids are in the room. And don't press play, whatever you do. But you can check out T's Treats. You can reach out to them at 336-755-8204. And as you can see, they've got frozen bandanas now. And
the thing about them is they may be phasing out, but we may have them at the fair or something. They're limited. They're a limited thing because the damn things keep going bad.
Oh, because they're banana and bananas go bad quick.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if they don't stay froze solid as a rock, they turn brown inside.
Ew, no.
So yeah, we're having a bit of an issue with them, and it's because we're a food truck. It's hard to transport them things because when you're going down the interstate, your freezers are not turned on. You're trying to get one place to another before everything thaws out.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
Right. So that we may start having them more like at Veterans Park for the fair and stuff like that. Because when we done Merle Fest, them freaking things went like crazy, man.
Yeah. What was hot that weekend though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 336-755-8204 T's Treats. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Our most delicious sponsor. And of course, our newest sponsor, Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains. They are a gaming store up in the Lynchburg area. They feature collectible toys, retro gaming consoles, free-to-play arcade cabinets, comic books, Magic the Gathering tournaments. They also have casual sessions too. So if you just want to go up there and play cards, and not be in a cutthroat type tournament, they have that stuff to do as well. A genius idea for a place to get your nerd on. I have to say, when this business was being described to me, I thought it was a great idea. And, you see these places in touristy type places like here in Concord or Myrtle Beach and stuff like that, but usually don't see them many other places. And this is nice. And, right outside Lynchburg, got the old time arcade cabinets. Their clean bathroom looks like there. And I think Rick Deezel pointed that out.
Yes, I noticed that immediately.
Yep, they open 7 days a week. Every day they're open at 11 a.m. They don't close until the dice stop rolling. Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop for you to get your nerd on.
And that T-shirt is not hanging there for you to wipe your hands on when you come out of the bathroom. So wipe your and use the paper towels that is
right
supplied
there
inside.
That's right there. Let's see. Table space available for Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, or any other tabletop game you can bring with your own. You can even bring your own tabletop game and host your game night with us. They feature older console games like Nintendo and Sega classics, 25 arcade cabinets with hundreds of your old school favorites, all set to free play. Monday Night D&D group has been running for over a year, and they welcome newcomers, both experienced and inexperienced. So, they host video game competitions like tournaments for Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, just to name a few. Something for the gamer and collector in us all. You can call to make arrangements for your game night at 434-317-0121 or shoot us an email with any questions at secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Please note, don't spell out the word second. Use the abbreviation, the number 2, and then ND. Secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. The inventory changes daily, so visit them often to make sure you don't miss out on that special item you've been looking for. Come game with us, they say. Rick Deezel, and I'm telling you, the place looks like just a blast, And look, they even got some concessions in there. I mean,
and if you're from out of town and you see something, on the ad that you like, or you want to get I'm pretty sure they'll ship it to you, man. They'll ship anywhere.
Yeah, most of these places like that will do that. When I was out in Vegas, I wanted to. I asked a lady at the M&M store if she could ship me an umbrella that I liked because I didn't want to take it on the plane with me. And she's like, "Yeah, give me your address, we'll do it." And so I ended up not buying it. But
speaking of Vegas, if I could have found a cheap plane ticket, I would not be here right now. So
why? What's going on in Vegas right now? Oh, it's August.
Cauliflower Alley.
Yeah, it's August.
Yeah, I missed my my window this year, so I'm gonna have to wait. I'll have to wait and go next year. But I looked to find it. If I had found, here was my plan. If I had found a cheap plane ticket, cheap enough, I was gonna sneak out of the house, and nobody would have knew where I was at till I was knee deep in slot machines.
Yeah. What hotel?
I've done that before.
Yeah. What hotel do you prefer in Vegas? What's your favorite place to stay there?
The Venetian.
The Venetian, and that's on the Strip or up on Fremont Street?
On the Strip.
Okay.
Now the Cauliflower Alley Club is held over on Fremont because I was there. I can't remember the name of the hotel. But my room looked right out over Fremont Street. So 2 o'clock in the morning, all I hear was boom, 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 boom. And but that was fine with me. But yeah, the Venetian on the Strip, which I think they sold it. I don't know if they're going, but that's the one that has the second floor. Has the river that runs through it with the gondolas.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, look up the Venetian online, and that river with the gondolas. They built a town. It looks like a town in there, and it's got all the shops. That's where all the shops. It's a shopping center on the second floor, and they got a river that runs through it that you can take gondola rides. It goes through the whole little town. They've recreated Venice in there.
That sounds fun.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Got little bridges that goes over the river, and it's on the second floor of I think it's second or fourth floor, but I think it's second floor.
And the sky is painted like clouds.
Yeah, the sky looks like clouds. So you look like it looks like you're outside. Wow. Really cool. And all that's on the second floor of a hotel. So if they ever get a crack in the floor, God help the people downstairs.
Yeah. Well, is the casino right underneath it? Is the casino?
I don't know. I don't think it is. It might be. No, I don't think it is. I think it's away from the casino, kind of.
Oh, okay. Because have you ever noticed that the hotels that I went into in Vegas, like MGM Grand, I stayed at Luxor, and we went into the one next to it, the big castle with the wizards. It seemed like everything that led down to the casino, like all the ramps going into the casino was down. Like to get out of the casino, you had to walk up to get out.
Yeah, like they're all in a hole.
Yeah, they make it. You have to make an effort to get out of there.
Well, I think it's because if you ever notice the people who watch over, it's always called pit bosses.
Yeah.
And so they put it in a pit so they can stand over it and look down. That's my opinion why I think they do that.
I thought they did it to keep you trapped in there. Once they got you drunk enough and high enough on that oxygen, man, I don't want to walk back to the hotel room. Let me keep playing.
Speaking of oxygen, did you ever see the oxygen bars they have out there?
No. Well, I saw them, but I didn't go in them because I could get all the oxygen I wanted for free inside the casino.
Well, they got them there so that they'd get rid of your hangover the next day. When I stayed at the Rio, I went downstairs and they had them down there.
Jesus Christ!
What the hell is that?
It's a cat knocking something down.
That's what cats do.
But they give you oxygen and they infuse it in you. I can't remember if it's an IV. I think they give you something IV, and then they got oxygen too. That it all helps you get over hangovers. And they got these machines that gives you water massages.
Well, I've seen those. They got those in Concord Mills.
I was gonna say, they got Concord Mills. You talking about the things that look like a tube?
Yeah.
Yeah, you lay in. That first time I ever seen one was out in Vegas.
But I'm afraid I won't fit.
Yeah. Wow.
You got to worry about fitting in. You got to worry about getting out.
No.
I can't get in one of them things because they'll have to have an ambulance to get me out.
Yeah. You have to come get a crane and a tow motor or something to get you out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to go back to Vegas. My mother-in-law is going to be here in a couple of weeks, so there ain't going to be no vacations for me for a while.
How long is she staying?
I don't know. Probably till the first of the year.
Oh my, that's a long time.
Yeah. hopefully she'll get bored here and want to go back to Arizona pretty quick. I shouldn't say that in public because they might be watching.
So that means I get to hear mom's stories from both of y'all every week now.
Well, see, what good thing about me and Erlinda is like, see, it's our first time in the United States ever, and she's about the same age my mother is, and she's never left the Philippines, so I got something working to my advantage. She doesn't speak or understand English at a very high level, so that is going to work to help us get along very much. She can exchange. She knows about as much English as I do Tagalog, and so we can exchange pleasantries, and that's about it. So I think it's going to help. I hope so. Yeah, pray for me.
Maybe she can cook something good for you. Some pancit and some. Is it Adobe? The Adobe?
Adobo.
No, that's Photoshop.
Yeah, you're thinking of the software.
You're thinking the program to make posters with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but but she's coming here. I hope she likes it. We're gonna try to maybe. I don't know. We might try to take her up to Tweetsy for Tweetsy Christmas or something like that.
Oh, that would be fun.
Take her to Scarewinds. That'll make her want to go home.
No, I don't want to scare the shit out of her. I was gonna.
You should definitely take her to the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Yeah, we're going to try, but I'm just nervous because of her advanced age and she's never been in a cool climate before. And so, when the weather turns here, this past winter was not bad. It was cold for 3 weeks and that was it. But sometimes it gets cold at the beginning of December and stays cold all the way to spring. Although
they're saying that this year's is La Nina, so it may be. I think it's La Nina that they're talking about cold and wet.
Yeah. Well, we're lucky. I mean,
Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah. See, I'll read Blooms out of Winston. It's so. But we're lucky here in the Charlotte area because I've been watching the weather since I moved here, and they have it beat into my head. Our geographical location makes it almost next to impossible to get snow. If we do get, yes, the copy is $10 a month. Some reason the way we're positioned to the coast and the way the weather comes out of the Caribbean, the conditions have to just be really, really just right for us to get snow. If we get any,
you got to find the right corner and you get all the snow you want down there.
Yeah, well, that is an issue in comparison. Opioids are our weakness down here, is what the police say. But so we very rarely get snow. We get ice once or twice a year, but I get so jealous because Tristan starts sending that picture of beautiful snow in Mount Airy, and I'll show it to Jinky and be like, "Look, it's snowing in Mount Airy," and she's like, "Oh, why can't we get any here?" So sometimes we'll just drive.
It's not here anymore either.
Yeah. We drive up to the mountains to see snow. That's what we did last winter. We heard it snowed up in Boone, and we drove up there and just rode around for the day.
You got a straight shot out of 26 or something like that. You just go down a little bit, go right up 26, go to Asheville.
I ain't never going
all the snow you want.
Yeah, I ain't going into Asheville that way ever again because it was a freaking traffic jam like I had never seen outside of Charlotte or Raleigh. And so what I do is if I want to go to Asheville, I make the extra long trip. I'll take 77 up to hit 40 and take 40 in and go in that way. Because that 26, God, I hate that road. I did it one time and I just, no more. Not unless I have to. All right, we're talking about travel now and where to go see snow. So I'd say we kind of run.
Yeah, we did. We didn't come out of that break with a whole lot of wrestling to talk about.
I do want to say one thing about Imperial Pro, if that's okay.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So there's an organization in Tennessee that's not an affiliate, but we have people, Chains and Chains' son, I believe, work for them pretty regularly. Mm-hmm. And they had a fire in their building and lost their ring, their computers, their sound system. Everything they had for a wrestling show. So I know they have a GoFundMe going. If you Google or if you're on Facebook and put Imperial Pro Wrestling, it would come up. But it's a pretty. I mean, that's a devastating thing to happen. For an.
And I heard that the fire was started not in their building, but
and that's what I read too. It was in another building.
Yeah, so they was just a victim of something, of another building's fire.
That is a shame because I mean that's
terrible.
something that could wipe the promotion out, man. You know, losing all their equipment because you know, like
Jack and Claire went out there a lot.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I think Axton works for them quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, I saw a picture of Jeter a couple of weeks ago. Oh, just said his shoot name. But I saw a picture of him in a match over there a few weeks ago. So
and I know also they do a lot of like real fundraisers for people, you know.
yeah.
I think y'all know
real fundraisers.
They actually give the money. So you know, it's you know, enough to check out. There's a lot of people that have come through our doors that are from that area in Tennessee and stuff. You know, Tennessee is such a mecca for wrestling and stuff. And so, you know, if you just check it out, you know, I don't have any affiliation with them. I don't know them. The only people I know is Chains and Axe and you know, Jack. That's it. I don't have any other thing other than I feel really bad that they lost all their stuff.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. It really does.
Want into the show, but
yeah, let's end the show on a down.
Yeah. Oh well, it is what it is. All right, folks, that's going to about wrap it up for us this week. We'll be back here next week, same bat time, same bat channel. That's an old reference. You young folks aren't going to get that one. Look it up. But anyway, we'll be back here and hopefully have the whole gang with us. Stephen Hayes was not with us tonight because he is celebrating his 20th wedding anniversary. So congratulations to him. That is a big milestone. And kudos to you and your wife, sir. Marriage that actually stays together. It's they're one of
the couples. You was like, hey man, they just jive, you know?
Yep. And glad to see that. 20 is a big mark. 5 more years. You'll be getting a little plastic silver bells.
Oh, is that what you're supposed to get me next year?
Oh, y'all up for 25 next year?
Next year. Yeah.
Silver anniversary. So, wow. Y'all are silver. We hit 10 this year.
What's that, paper?
Huh?
Is that paper?
What?
One of them's paper.
One of them's paper.
Like one of the things like silver, the traditional gift.
Oh, I don't know. I know. So yeah, I don't know what 10 years is. I know we're not officially not newlyweds anymore after 10 years. So,
let's see.
How many years you got, Rick Deezel?
I don't know, 30-ish.
30-ish.
Oh, yours is 10.
10.
T-I-N, 10. 10 for 10.
Oh, I got plenty of aluminum foil in the cabinet. I'm good. I'm good, everybody. I don't need any foil.
Ours has been gay.
Oh wow!
Seems like I used to hear a joke like about Ben Gay in the dressing, like in the.
If you hear the dogs barking, it's because the old ball and chain just walked in the door.
Oh Lord, I'm sure she loves that moniker. Oh mercy! All right, well we're gonna get out of here, folks. We'll be back next week. Come on and let's see. The Ivanhoe show is on Saturday, so if you're in the Ivanhoe, Virginia area, check that out at the Ivanhoe Fire Department. I think it gets started around 7 o'clock. Let me scroll back here and look at the poster.
7:30 bell time.
7:30 bell time. Yeah, at the Ivanhoe Fire Department. Do not use the GPS. Ride into town. Stop at a gas station. Ask somebody where the Ivanhoe Volunteer Fire Department is, and it's not too far off the interstate. Of course, Deal with the Steel comes up in less than 2 weeks. In Mount Airy Veterans Park, another one's here. First one was in 97, so y'all do the math. It's coming up on its 30th anniversary show pretty quick.
Yeah.
A few years. And so we'll be back here next week. Hopefully we will have nice, pretty posters of all the matches to run down for you. But, you know, I've seen a rough draft of that card, folks, and you're not going to want to miss this. And if you go up to the Ivanhoe show, one last request for those of you guys going. Here is a picture of the poster. This guy right here looks exactly like an IT guy I used to work with named Daniel. Could y'all find out if that's his real name or if he is related?
It's not. You don't know who that is?
No.
Dude used to be a war machine, man.
Did he?
Yeah, he was the short war machine.
He was the what?
He was the short war machine.
Is he the one
was it Rocky?
No, it wasn't Rocky. That's Rocky Steelheart. He was a, God bless it.
Was he the one that got knocked off and hit the concrete that time?
It may have been. I don't know.
Did he have black? Used to have black hair and a mustache.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Yeah, I remember him. That dude was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
God, I can't remember his name. See, now you got me on it, and I know his name, and it's right on the tip of my tongue, but I cannot think of it. But yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. God bless.
Manson,
James Manson.
That's right.
James Manson. That's who that is.
Yeah, James Manson.
Yes, I do believe he cracked his back or skull like in Stewart, I think.
Oh, I'm sure he got hurt a bunch of times. He was crazy, man. He did not, he was one of them people that did not give a fuck. And he would always make sure he had good knowledge of where the hard camera was, because he would always step into a shot and be in some type of apparel or showing his blood. And, I mean, it just, he's, good dude. I miss him. Well, tell him I said, hey, and I thought he was an IT guy.
All right.
All right. Anyway, we're going to get out of here, folks. So for your Hall of Fame panel, Brian and Reagan Danzig, Rick Deezel, I'm Mad Matt Carter. We'll see you next time, fans. And until then, so long for now.